What's up, guys? It's Team Movement Team. Now we're gonna do the clan analysis for Kagero. Woo! Everyone's favorite clan.
No.
It has to happen.
I hate you, Taco. We're gonna do the top. We're gonna do starting off with number 5, which is gonna be the Rebirth. Simply because the reason why I have the Break Ride with this card together is because this card is no threat without the Break Ride. No one has ever been afraid of riding the Rebirth first, and they're like, oh, okay, well, now you're pretty much dead. There's no way, no. This card says, all right, the Break Ride, what it does is Counter Blast 1, attack a rear guard, pits 1 card, restand. So with this card, where it's Counter Blast 1, lock 5 units, you can get 3 attacks off. If your opponent doesn't have a perfect guard, there's triggers involved with 6 drive checks. That's basically frightening. Not only that, with the Dragonic Overlord support, when you look at cards like Burnout, like you didn't care about locking cards. And not only that, you would play the 10k Intercept, you would play Gojo, pitch a card, draw a card, like you can fix your hand and stuff like that. This card was basically stupid for time. The only reason why it's not higher on the list is only because at the time it wasn't scary. It was a really good deck, but then there was Glendios, and Glendios made this deck, it made this boss monster look like nothing. Against that deck, you had to play other cards, such as Vague, the End. That way your matchup against those matchups was a lot better. But still a good boss monster. I will be doing a deck profile for this once we get the Ace. Like there's a lot of cards that brings back this combo right here, and it's still a really good unit. Going at number 4, we have the Great. Why is the Great really good? Well, he's not that great, simply because he's number 4. Because honestly, his Legion mate is just there. Hate you guys.
That's your fucking fault. You made a terrible pun.
Continue.
The mate is actually one of the really good cards for the deck. That's why you see it played in the cross, because one simple reason: it can start sniping units at grade 2. His skill is Counter Blast 1. When his unit is placed on rear guard, when a unit's retired and putting the drops on the same column as him, Counter Blast 1 retired the same another unit same column. So you have this guy. Call this the rear guard. Legion. Swing. Kill the grade 2. Counter Blast 1. Restand. Pitch 2. His skill now goes out. Counter Blast 1. Retire the booster. So at the cost of Counter Blast 2, you kill 2 units and you get more drive checks. Really amazing combo. He was there as your late game finisher. He's the same thing with the cross. Until we get the Ace, he's your late game finisher, simply because getting 2 drive checks guaranteed. And getting 2 drive checks helps a lot more to put him on rear guards. He does his job a lot better. Actually, my bad. He does both of their jobs a lot better. Because he has his skill, but at the same time, none of my rear guards are locked and they're still there. The third best one, I would have to give it to Vortex Dragon. When you look at Japan, during set 17, there was no money cards. The only money card was Vortex Dragon. Vortex Dragon was a better version of Drag Ruler, for the simple fact that when they were giving that damage, if they hit a heal trigger, they hit a draw trigger, it was negated. There was no, all right, I'm gonna sack you with, I'm gonna get this draw trigger, draw the perfect guard. No, your trigger's gonna get it. You're going to 5 damage. You're guarding my Vanguard. You're going to lose. You're going to 4. You're either gonna back on the crit and lose.
For the record, I think I've lost to that card the most. Thanks, Brian.
You're welcome. I killed all those cat butlers.
Who the fuck else plays Drag Ruler or anything like that?
That's not Dragon. That's Dragon Troll.
Oh, who else is Dragon Ruler?
Like this card combined Vague with Drag Ruler and like the Narukami Break Ride into one card. This card was ridiculous. At the cost of Counter Blast 2 and discard a copy from the Vanguard Circle. Oh no, I have this grade 3 that's so useless in my hand. Let me pitch it to get rid of 2 units. Let me get rid of those Intercepts, or Laurel, or Cat Butler, especially Cat Butler, then you need to die.
That card is retarded. I hate that card.
And give you a damage. Let me punch you. Let me hit. Please let it be a draw trigger, a heal trigger, or better yet, a Cat Butler for the damage. Less of those guys I gotta see.
Why you gotta hate on Cat Butler?
The Perditions was actually one of the more viable Kagero decks, simply because they have forms of way of retiring at grade 2. A lot of control players don't see the problem with control decks. All rush decks such as Pale Moon, Royal Paladin, Shadow Paladin, Gold Paladin, they can call a unit and rush. Control units have nothing until grade 3.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kagero, only has about
Yeah.
3 units really that can start retiring. We have Pain Laser, which is honestly my I think it's the best unit when it comes to retiring for Kagero. Simply because call it Counterblast 1, retire something in that column. Like, is that Cat Butler? Is that Laurel? Alright, get rid of it. Snipe that in the back. Get rid of that unit. There's the Novell Critic. Does the same thing, but at the same time, you need to have a copy of Vague. Then you have Burnout. But Burnout specifically needs you to have a Dragonic Overlord unit in the drop zone.
You also have the Counterblast 2 guy, but no one uses that.
No one uses the Blaster Blade clothes anymore. Not even Narukami. Those units really fall. They really fell after around the Limit Break era, simply because Counterblast 2 is too heavy now. Too many units Counterblast. As you can see, all the boss monsters that I've mentioned do Counterblast. Even if you look back at the original Dragonic Overlord, the Counterblast 3, you would never want to play the Blaster Blade clone. It was an awful. These units do their job. He doesn't Counterblast, but he needs setup. He Counterblast, but you need a specific card in hand. This card does not Counterblast. All he needs is that you have a Perdition Vanguard. He's, out of all the Kagero units, this is the best one. We're going to number 2. Number 2, actually, I have them tied together. It's Dauntless Dragon and Vague.
Oh, her.
Vague ran a format. Vague was actually the most scariest card that came out of the Break Ride format. Simply because it costs a Counterblast 3, Soul Blast 3, I wipe out your whole board. Is that Aqua Force? Okay, now I pretty much win. Is that Link Joker? Well, the scariest deck of the time is now dead. This unit really helped against Glendeals. Okay, I'm gonna wipe out your board. Now you can't use your, or you're gonna hit my reverse unit. Well, you have no reverse unit. You lost your field. You can't get that field again. At that time, you saw people playing Garmor and just units that could bring back a field. Dauntless is actually one of the best break rides that ever came out during the entire break ride format. It's a unit that brought back every Kagero unit. What do you mean? Well, at the cost of discarding 3 cards, your unit restands. It made Vague terrifying. Because Vague without the breaker was not terrifying, which is why I don't know why people were playing that awful build where they were playing, what's his name again?
Cruel Dragon.
Cruel Dragon. Which, oh, I'm gonna ride Cruel Dragon, then ride Vague. Well, now I'm not afraid of your Vanguard because, okay, it's nothing.
That's the dude with the Lord skill or whatever.
Well, there's 2 things. There's 2 other things that actually make Vague terrifying, with the fact that
It had the Silent Tom skill.
and it nullified triggers.
Oh no, Vague was just amazing for that. You didn't have to worry. You didn't have to worry about 6 damage heal. Once they hit 6 damage, they were dead. You didn't have to worry about, oh, you hit them, they hit a draw trigger. Nope, you don't draw, you don't gain power, nothing. And the fact that she was cross-ridden. She's the original grade 4. We don't count the Great Nature. That unit was awful.
But it exists though.
Let's not talk about that.
And it's legal.
But Dauntless, was more viable simply because he brought back VN and he brought back every Kagero unit. Like at the time, you saw Seal Dragons. I was playing Seal Dragons at the time. There was the end. There was like a whole bunch of different. Then when Vague came out, I was like this card shot up in price. It was like a $50 card for like weeks. Like Dauntless is still a break ride. Like for the longest time, I would see people playing Dauntless with Vortex Dragon because I'll put you to 4 to 5 damage and swing at you twice for 30 something. Like that's frightening. But lose your hand for that. I didn't like that build.
And number 1 must be
The End. The End is the best unit. Why is The End the best unit? Who during set 5, other than MLB, this unit ran 3 formats. Set 5, set 6, set 7. It took Aqua Force and Ultimate Great Daiusha to finally say, all right, now we're gonna be relevant to the meta. This unit was still viable for 3 meta. That's really, it was so good that Japan said this. You know what, America, we're gonna jip you. You're not gonna get set 5 first. You're gonna get set 6 first, then set 7, then set 4, then this set, then here's set 8. But what made this unit much more stronger? Because they kept giving it support. They gave it Dauntless. This was one of the best decks during set 11 format. Then they're like, you know what, guys? This is the cross ride format. Let's give you a break ride that has the same name as your cross ride, so you can use his skill and swing 3 times. You have Dragonic Burnout. It does what? Oh, let me just Soul Blast and retire a unit. This unit honestly is one of, and then not only that, it just has to hit. It can hit a rear guard. And what made this unit even much scarier was that they gave it more support via the cross. The cross is not that scary. What made the cross a lot better was that his mate was the end, and the fact that he searches for either a copy of himself or the end. The end is honestly what it says. He is the Overlord's true final form, because he is the unit that is the finisher until we get the ace. And not even that, even when we finally get the ace, what makes it, this card right here plays mind games. Do they have the end? They don't have the end. Oh, they rolled the end first. All right, cool. I'll just take it. You get punished for it, even if I drive check it. The end, out of all the all the Kagero units, has the best support, best unit overall. You know, people can say that this unit's better, Vega's better. No, who sees more support? What matters is your support and how long have you been relevant. And this card has been relevant for years.
He won't die. Why?
Which is why I love him.
Meh.
Honorable mentions go to Dauntless Reverse and Dragonic Blade Master, but no cards like if you notice, this whole video was mostly Dragonic Overlords. It was at least 3 Dragonic Overlords, and most of these cards were support with Dragonic Overlord or cards that you can play with Dragonic Overlord. Not only that, Dragonic Overlord made this card go to 2 in Japan, Calamity Towers, because you can do a loop, ride this card. Legion, add a copy of him. You didn't hit? Well, whatever. Next turn, write another copy. Skill, Soul Blast these 2, put them in your drop zone. Legion them back. Do it again. Do it again. Keep putting triggers back. It's an infinite loop. But I don't like 4 Calamity Towers because I'm not bad. Alright guys, that's the Kagero video. Team Movement signing off.